Excited for tonight. We are doing something completely different that I've never done before. I have my three sisters here, and we went to the opera tonight. It is Mary Lynn's birthday. She's just below me. And we're going to be sharing 4 practices, one per each of us, of really what has been so incredibly meaningful and what has been so helpful to cultivate our emotional intelligence over the last couple of years, or really throughout our entire life. We didn't grow up with a firm foundation on what is emotional intelligence and how to cultivate it. And so it's really been an individual journey. And so I'm excited to introduce them. I'm going to start with Susanna. She's the baby of the family. She's going to come on in and share her favorite practice.
So hello, it's an honor to be here. Something I've been reflecting on is just how important it is in my life to sit down with my journal and just start writing. I find that whenever I truly need to process something, it's when I'm most afraid to sit down and confront it. And a lot of times it's because you don't know, obviously, what you're feeling, the conclusion of what that looks like. So for me, it's just sitting down, confronting whatever that is, and walking myself all the way through the emotion on paper, like pen paper. So I've seen a huge difference when I'm not doing that in my, either week or even day to day, just depends, on the season of what you're going through. But yeah, that's my tip, to just sit with it and see where it takes you.
Love it. Thank you. And next we'll have my sister Susanna just went. Mary Lynn, the birthday girl. She's going to come in and talk about her next tip.
Okay. Hello. So mine actually is very similar to Susanna's, because my hot take on it would be just to take a breath. Not everything is urgent. Not everything requires a response, even within the same day. And in my work, I don't often have time to sit down and reflect. And so that simple practice of just pausing has helped me a lot with just being able to give myself time to think and give myself space to think and react before I say or do anything, because not many things require an immediate response. So that is mine. Thank you, team.
Love it. Wonderful. And then next we have all of our eldest sister, Jen. She's the leader of the 4. So coming up.
Hello. Grateful to be with you all. My tip is very similar to my sister's. You can probably tell that we're all a very introspective, mindful family. But I would say that my biggest tip is, like they said, just keep short accounts with yourself. Have kind of a self check-in every day. Like, what am I feeling? What am I carrying? And not letting those things pile up and become overwhelming or so big that they have to really be dove deep into because they've mounted up so big. So just taking those little check-ins every day. For me, I love doing it first thing in the morning to start the day. Like, how am I feeling? What am I carrying? And like Susanna said, kind of processing those on paper. I'm a mom, and so I love to take my baby on a walk and just use that time to process, to pray, to work through whatever issues I'm facing, and without fail, like that time just being out in nature and kind of disconnecting, getting away from everything, that really helps me reset and get into a better mental state as I keep short accounts with myself. So that's my tip.
Love it. Thank you. Y'all, I just love each one of these women. Every time we get together, it's so inspiring. We actually went to the tavern where JFK proposed to Jackie Kennedy tonight. And it was just so encouraging, talking about how can we make our family closer? How can we actually improve the way that we communicate? How can we really come alongside each other in our very, very different journeys? I mean, Jen said that she's a mom with a baby and then an 11-year-old. So obviously a very big span there. She's married, and Mary Lynn and Susanna live together and are in grad school, and just total brilliant ladies. And then obviously I've got my business, and we all just have such different paths. And yet this whole common theme of emotional intelligence and the pursuit of that has been so important to strengthen our relationship. And even tonight we went to this show, and as I was sitting there watching it take place, everyone's singing about love. And I just had this thought, I was like, this is the thing. Love and relationship has been the pursuit and the common pursuit across all arts, across all cultures, across all time. And so it is so important that we really are taking the time to not just invest in the external relationships, but invest in ourselves so that we can show up in a way that really is life-giving to those around us. And so there's so many things I could say with what my recommendation of what my practice would be. What I would say to add to what they already have said, because just the concept of taking a breath is so incredibly important. The concept of journaling every single day is so incredibly important. Like Jen said, just taking a moment every single morning to really strengthen herself, so incredibly important. And so to add to that, the practice of actually learning to sense in my body when something's off, whether it's a red flag, whether there's kind of like a queasiness or tightening in my chest, that ability to actually become associated with my physical body gave me so much insight into emotions that had maybe been stuffed down, memories, unprocessed experiences. And it was like this treasure trove became open to me of both joy and sorrow, but so much joy. And so the more we become emotionally intelligent, the more we actually get to encounter the world at a really visceral level. But it starts with us being brave enough to sit in the discomfort, to take a breath, as Mary Lynn said, to journal, as Susanna said, and then also every morning, if possible, to really sit and take time to know, how am I doing before I then go and try to give to everybody else? Am I even healthy to begin with? Otherwise, y'all, we're actually probably doling out unhealth to everyone in our path. So these practices of coming to understand our bodies, our physical bodies, and what kind of signs are they cueing us into, along with what they said, just really, really important. So with that, we're keeping it short tonight because I'm going to go finish celebrating birthdays with my sisters. And thank you so much for joining, and I will see you tomorrow on The Knowing Show.